you look for a director of policy and two come along at once, something like buses, isn't it? So when I thought about this presentation, I thought about gazing into a crystal ball. Don't know very much about crystal ball gazing, so I went back a little way into the past to consult Mystic Meg, who some of you may have known about. And she said, when you're looking into a crystal ball, the challenge you've got is you can see some really bad things in the future. And you also can see what you might see as the future. She said the opportunity to the person looking into that crystal ball is you've got chance to pull amongst all the fog that you see in there, the bits that people really want to hear, and to give them a plan and a way of getting to the future. And really in my presentation today, I just want to give CIHT's perspective of where we might see that future. A lot of what I'll talk about has already been said by the panel already in different ways, which is refreshing. CIHT represents a very broad range of people. We've got a lot of engineers are our members, a lot of transport planners, urban designers, a whole range of different people. We're not just an engineering profession. Virtually all of our members, and I guess all of you sitting in the room and all of us sitting up here, actually want to see some certainty and clarity in the future. What has CIHT done in terms of its own crystal ball? Several years ago, we set up a piece of work called CIHT Futures, which deliberately looked at the uncertain future we faced. We went round groups of all our members. We spoke to members at the beginning of their careers, in the middle of their careers, at the end of their careers. And there were some really interesting perspectives there. At the younger end and the older end, there was a surprising degree of agreement between what they saw. They were very optimistic about things. They saw challenges ahead, but actually saw a way of forward through that. The people in the middle, in the midst of their careers, really weren't quite as optimistic as the rest of the members. They were really battling with the difficulty of the day job, the complexity of what they had to do on a day-to-day basis, and making it work. The key thing coming out was there was a great deal of uncertainty about the future. Not surprising, but some very clear findings. Our members were very clear we had to move from the skills and the tools that we'd used in the past and has served the profession well in the past. So for instance, predict and provide when it came to highway and transport planning really wasn't the tools that they saw used forward. It was really important that we had to build in uncertainty into the future planning of what we did. And it was important that we not predicted a future, but actually work with politicians and those who made decisions that we would have to work by around deciding what sort of future we might want, and actually then putting into place the things that needed to be done in that. So since Futures has happened, what have we had? And we've had Roy talking about this, Daniel talking about this. So we've got from Zenzik the roadmap, a really impressive piece of work for those engineers and planners amongst us that brings together all the factors, all the people involved in how we get to a place in the future. Absolutely key, and I recommend it to everybody involved to get involved in that. The key for it is not that it sits there as a confirmed plan, but it gives everybody the opportunity to input the things that they need to input to find the way forward. From Roy, we've heard about the National Transport Strategy in Scotland, one which has embraced scenario planning, one which CIHT and CIHT members have been heavily involved in pulling together, and probably a a vision and a strategy that sets the way forward, I think, for transport planning in the UK. And thirdly, the Future of Mobility report, which came out last year and set out what a government transport policy might look like. And actually, again, it hit many of the things that CIHT has been saying for a long time need to happen. That embracing of certainty, understanding things of a system, not just as a single mode of transport, and bringing it together in a coherent strategy. And hopefully that underpins future government policy in the area. So actually, in terms of setting a vision, I think we're starting to get there. In certain places, that vision exists. So if I set out the challenges and opportunities that I see, my engineering brain kicks in. So I have to put little lines around things and little circles around things. 4 key challenges we have, and they've been talked about by Roy and others, and they're the 4 in the middle. And around the outside, 3 opportunities where we can influence. Out of the 4, probably transport is only seen as predominantly positive in growing the economy at the moment. As a sector, we have to change that. The other 3 are seen predominantly as negative. And actually, those are the areas where the sector has to change. We have to provide the route to equality for people and move away from transport poverty for great sections of population. Climate change is the imperative that we have to accept and decide what we need to do to meet that. Transport, and this is one of the bad things when you look into the crystal ball, is making things worse as we sit here. We have to change that. We have to make it better as a profession. And health and well-being of everybody, including those who work in the sector, is an imperative. So sustainable modes of transport has to be the way forward. The opportunities around the outside, in terms of funding, as CIHT, we seek to influence, we seek certainty and continuity of funding, and the sector's been successful in persuading government that's the case in some key areas, such as Highways England. We need to move further on that, and the local highways network needs that same certainty and continuity. In terms of people, as an institution, we've got to play our role in helping people to develop the skills and knowledge they need to make the changes in those 4 challenging areas. And in terms of leadership, CIHT will work with others in the sector to provide that leadership. We'll continue to seek to influence and seek to change. So the issue that was raised about bringing together planning and transport is this morning on the stand, we heard Linda Addison, one of our key members, talk about our better planning, better transport, better places work in collaboration with the RTPI and Transport Planning Society, and working with both the Ministry and the Department for Transport to start to make bringing those sectors together. So it can be done. It won't be an overnight task. We're there working as CIHT to help do that. So we as a profession are going to have to change to meet those challenges. We clearly, as a professional institution, focus on technical skills. We've heard from both Daniel the need for different sorts of skills to come in. A much broader range of technical skills, but also the skills to work with people and the ability to change how people view transport and the things that we do, how to engage with people, and really make sure that we're delivering for people, not just ourselves. We live in an uncertain world that will get more uncertain. So actually, in terms of creative thinking, enterprise, and the ability to change what we do quite rapidly, will grow in importance. Well, there's 3 stages of education and how we deliver skills. We've got to look into initial education to start people, getting young people engaged in the whole sector around delivery of transport. It's a truly exciting place to be. Everything that you see today and tomorrow here is exciting, different, and is about change. We need to get younger people involved. The need for professional qualifications needs to change to meet that broader range of skills. And CIHT is involved in that with others in seeking to change the way our professional qualifications work. And importantly, every single one of us in the sector needs to continually develop the way they develop. So each of you, myself, everybody on the panel has to pick up new ways of working, new ways of doing things. And places like CIHT are the key place for doing for that. And the reason why is the word in yellow, that professional ethics. You all work for different people, doing a very important job in what you do. The place that CIHT offers you to speak about that work, the challenges you face, and work for public benefit is really important, and to do so in a professional sense. So CIHT is a key place for this challenge that we face. We set our values out about 4.5 years ago. We think they're well suited for the time we're in now. We're just about to start thinking about our next 5-year plan and where CIHT want to be. I suspect those values will probably be broadly the same. And those are the values that we need to deliver this challenge, the crystal ball gazing that I've talked about, that everybody on the panel's talked about. We have to behave in the ways set out there. So I'll end now, and hopefully we can have a good discussion about everything that we've done instead. Okay?